Dear students, good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you in this class. Now we will discuss organic farming, its impacts on different aspects and components. What are the components of organic farming? So actually, if we can see variety of impacts are there in relation to organic farming, like impact on income, impact on environment, impact on productivity, impact on quality, biodiversity. There are a number of areas where organic farming can have impacts. And also we will see different components of organic farming. And by now, we have covered topics like brief history, government initiatives for promotion of organic farming, and we have seen in the forenoon definition of organic farming and different aspects related to organic farming. And now we will discuss the impacts and components. So agroecology is coming up a new subject for last 10, 15 years in developed world. Instead of organic farming, some institutions or some people are preferring agroecology. Agroecology means we call it agroecosystem. Our system, if we apply principles and practices of ecology in our artificial system, our farming system, or our agriculture, then it becomes agroecology. In agroecology, we try to mimicry the natural processes in our artificial system or agricultural system. Therefore, it is agroecology. Means we should not use any chemicals, we should not use pesticides. It is almost, it is one step ahead than over organic farming, this agroecology. So agroecology is a whole system approach to agriculture that applies ecology to the design and management of sustainable production systems. It also includes even distribution of food. All the people in that particular region are getting your food or not. Starting from smallest microbe in soil up to the highest politician of the country. All people are involved in agroecological concepts. All stakeholders are there, whether it is microbe, plant, animal, human being, and across human beings, whether you are a farmer, whether you are whatsoever you are, but agroecology is actually followed at a wider scale. Then buffer zone, it is related to organic farm. Buffer zone, it is a divide between organic and conventional farm. Certain land is left unused, that is your buffer zone. An area located between a certified production operation or portion of a production operation and an adjacent land area that is not maintained under organic management. Crop rotation. I think you know crop rotation. Climate change, you know. Stubble, you know, part of mature crops such as base of stems, roots, etc. Polyculture is your multiple cropping. Smoother crop, you know, the crop is kind of cover crop, like cowpea act as a smoother crop. Agrochemical, you know, soil biodust, you know, heavy metal, natural elements with high atomic mass and their high density, at least 5 grams per cubic centimeter or higher. This is the definition of heavy metal, and it includes cadmium, cobalt, chromium, copper, iron, mercury, manganese, molybdenum, lead, and zinc. Rhizosphere is soil zone near the plant roots where microbes flourish in greater number and have more activity than the bulk soil. The soil which is in close contact of the roots is your, and that particular volume or portion of soil is rhizosphere, and it is normally 1 millimeter to 3 millimeter away from the root. 1 to 3 millimeter away from the root. Whatever soil is there, up to 3 millimeter around the roots is considered as rhizosphere. Nutrient considered as soil amendment already. Rhizobacteria, bacteria living in rhizosphere. Humification, you already know, microbial biomass, animal waste, organic waste, litter, etc. Now we will discuss the impact of organic farming on food quality. There may be many more areas. We restrict only to food quality and safety, production or productivity. Do we have more productivity? Do we have less productivity? Income or economics, soil, what are the influences on soil and ecosystems, climate and air, ground and surface water. So we will see, and these kind of impacts you can consider as the benefit of organic farming also. When we talk of food quality, we will see, but you can write it in the form of benefits also. This income, soil and ecosystem and so on. You will see how you can write it as benefit. So this is nutritional quality of organic food, a systematic review or meta-analysis. Dear students, this systematic review and meta-analysis are the same word. They have same meaning. In this case, what happens? People can compare any two practices or any two outcome of research. So what happens if you go to parliament? In parliament, sometimes they say that ये वोट जो है ध्वनि मत से पारित हो गया. आपका जो कोई अमेंडमेंट आता है, any amendment in parliament, they say it is passed by voice vote. And sometimes in your village, if you have village panchayat, people will take a decision and they will ask them to raise the hands. And they can count the hands and then they can take the decision. Similarly, in review of literature, as I told you today, organic agriculture is sustainable or not. So there can be thousands paper which will claim that organic agriculture is sustainable. And there may be equal number of paper which may say that organic agriculture is not sustainable. So how to decide where the opinion is divided? So in this case, what scientists started in recent times, 10, 15 years back, they started doing systematic review. You can call it systematic review or meta-analysis. There are certain criteria based upon which they select the paper. They select the paper, different databases are there, CD-ROMs are there, your FAO abstracts are there, and CAB abstracts are there. So variety of data resources are there, where you get abstract of the papers, and if you need, you can get full papers. So there is some statistical procedure to identify or to sort the literature. So following that procedure, you can select the literature, appropriate literature, and divide it into two groups. One is yours in favor, other may be in disfavor. Then some statistical tests are there, some techniques are there, through which you can come to a conclusion that, okay, this is the final conclusion, is statistically significant, and there may be result in favor of one. Then you can say the first statement is correct or incorrect. So it is like this, meta-analysis or systematic review. Putting some statistics, some economics, some computers or softwares, and one can do meta-analysis. For you to understand, I can simply say that suppose you got two fertilizers. One is ammonium sulfate, other is urea. And there may be many papers in the world which must have compared ammonium sulfate and urea, which is the better source. And some may be saying that ammonium sulfate is better, some may be saying this urea is better. So to find it out, you need certain, this literature search techniques are available, they are defined, and then comparisons are made through statistics. The procedures are there, then you can decide that this is a significant difference, therefore conclusion A is correct and B is wrong, and vice versa. So this is called as meta-analysis. So meta-analysis was done. The authors wanted to compare whether organic products have more nutrients than the conventional, or conventional products have more nutrients than the organic. So here you can see in this paper, nitrogen was more in conventional product. Nitrogen was more in conventional products. So organic products were having less nitrogen. Then vitamin C was no difference. Means both these products had same kind of vitamin C. Similarly, phenolics, magnesium, calcium, etc. were no difference. Means both chemical and conventional product have equal quantities. Then coming to phosphorus, phosphorus was more in organic products than conventional products. And then potassium, zinc, total soluble solids, and copper, they were in equal proportion. They were in equal proportion in both the products. Our titrable acidity was more in organic. So you can see that nitrogen was more, only one item was more in conventional, and two items were more in organic, like phosphorus and titrable acidity. So overall, this paper concluded that there is no difference in quality of organic product or conventional product. They contain almost same level of nutrients. This was the conclusion.
Sir,
Yes, please.
is there any specific reason that phosphorus is more in case of organic?
It is simple. See, in case of nitrogen was more in conventional. It is, I think, clear to you. Because
Yes.
here you use fertilizer, you use urea, nitrogen, then you will definitely have this nitrogen more. In organic, actually here, it is balanced use of nutrients. You are not adding any nutrient in excess. So there may be proportionate uptake here, proportionate uptake to nitrogen, because nitrogen drives the demand for phosphorus. So in this case, according to the nitrogen availability, there may have been sufficient phosphorus. Therefore, you get more phosphorus, but in conventional, you had more nitrogen. But in proportion to that, there may be less phosphorus in the soil. Therefore, uptake of phosphorus was less. So it can be explained like this.
Yes, sir.
I do not know whether I could explain it or not, but it can be explained.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And titrable acidity may be more in organic, टोमेटो, खट्टा टमाटर हम लोग पसंद करते हैं इंडिया में है। कभी मार्केट जाओ तो हमारी मैडम तो ढूंढती हैं कि देसी टमाटर कहाँ है, खट्टा टमाटर. So this titrable acidity is liked by some people. It is a positive trait. So maybe differences in nutrition, it can be related to nutrition only. Organic nutrition may have increased the titrable acidity. So overall, they said that there is no difference in food quality based upon these data. But problem is, who will bring the safety? They have not tested the safety of these products. Safety, I mean, whether they were containing pesticide residues or not. That was important. So they kept mum. So again, is what it was found that this review was funded by some interesting agencies who wanted to discourage use of not in favor of organic farm. So these kind of things happen in science, dear students, that sometimes research is funded to get favor and people do not mind telling lies. It happens. I cannot go into much details, but you know the story of nanourea. At the same time, another review came from, it was from France, Denis Leron, Nutritional Quality and Safety of Organic Food. They were independent reviews, and this is from France. So you can say, I am just showing you the conclusion of this review. They said that organic plant products contain more dry matter and minerals, iron, magnesium, and antioxidants, phenols, and salicylic acid. So more products are there. Organic animal products, more polyunsaturated fatty acids, means the meat, the milk which is produced from organic animal is much safer than the meats which is produced from conventionally raised animals. 94 to 100% of organic food does not contain any pesticide residue. So they are safe. They are safe. Safety means no pesticide residue. So only up to 6% chance are there. Even organic products can have pesticides. Do you have any idea where from these pesticides can come in organic farming?
Sir, maybe from rain and
Irrigation water.
Yes, maybe.
irrigation water.
Yeah, maybe from rain, irrigation water, or atmospheric deposits can also be there. Organic vegetables contain less nitrate, about 50% less nitrate than the conventional, where you use nitrate, urea, etc. Any points from this? So now one more paper is from Baranski et al. 2014. And this says that antioxidants, which are good for our health, on an average are having higher values, higher content in organic food compared to conventional food. And people, you are saying the authors, they are leader in organic farming in Europe. This is from Europe, and most of the people are leader in organic farming in Europe. Some are from Poland, some are from Greece, some are from UK, and some are from Sweden, likewise. So they published this paper, and antioxidants clean our blood, they remove the free radicals and advantages, and they improve our immunity system. So on an average, 50% more antioxidants were observed in organic food. Coming to the yields are low, already discussed with you. So here, the reduction in yield will depend upon kind of crop. For example, reduction in yield will be more if you take cereals. If you take the crops where nutrient requirement is very high, if you convert them to organic, then yield reduction will be more. If you take the crops where nutrient requirement is much less, like pulses or some oil seeds, then the reduction in yield will be less. Secondly, if you take rain-fed areas where fertilizer consumption is less, if you take irrigated areas, so in irrigated areas, the reduction in yield will be more compared to the rain-fed area. Because in rain-fed area, you are taking, you are applying very little quantity of pesticide or these fertilizers. So it depends upon crop, it depends upon soil or region. There are many factors which will affect the yield. So overall, there is about you can see 15 to 35. You can say 15 to 35% reduction in yield if you convert to organic farming from conventional. In intensive farming areas like Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, if you go to organic farming from conventional farming, the reduction is very high. Maybe may go as high as 35 or 40%. But if you go to, say, Sikkim or Northeast, or maybe in Rajasthan, there the reduction in yield will be just 10% or 15%. So same could have happened in Sikkim also. So this is very subjective. But on an average, reduction is surely there when you convert to organic farming. And as Santika said, that after
So you are not audible. So you are muted.
I'm sorry, it suddenly there was a break in internet at my end. Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just let me have a sip of tea. So yield reduction will be there. And in rain-fed areas, Sikkim, like somebody asked, so the food security was not in question actually. Even if there is 10% less yield, they can take it from other state, or every state must be having some reserve, so they can be used. Actually, most of the time, people play politics. Politics also, I tell you, case of Sikkim. In Sikkim, they were criticizing organic farming. There was a group or team of people who was criticizing or introduction of organic farming in Sikkim. But by now, 7 years have passed. Have you ever heard that they are in trouble? They have become poor. They have any problem? No, not at all. But what happened in 1 year? They wanted to defame organic farming, and they have said that the yields in Sikkim are declining. And they have taken the data from the year during which Sikkim had drought. There was a drought year, partial drought in Sikkim. And they have taken the data from that year, which was part of the organic farming year. Somewhere in organic, after converting to organic farming. And then they compared to the data which was 5 or 10 years back. They said, see, the yield of organic farming is less compared to conventional farming. It was less, but have you analyzed the weather? You can take the long-term average of 5 year, 6 year organic farming and 5, 6 year conventional farming, then you are just people. But to be news, just these days you are seeing fake videos, fake things. How many propaganda? I tell you a story of Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, what happened? People immediately started blaming organic farming for all problems in Sri Lanka. And dear students, you may not be knowing that what happened in Sri Lanka in one particular year, the money was not there with the government. This Rajpaksha, who was president of that country, he has looted his country and he has just distributed money to his voters also, lot of subsidies, schemes. So he just, you can call it kharchila. He just spent money, public money, without giving any thought. And then their treasuries were empty. Government had no money. You should listen carefully. Government had no money. And then what this intelligent person realized, that I do not have money to buy fertilizer from China. I do not have money to buy seed or pesticide from India. So money was not there with the government. Therefore, he said, we will go for organic farming. All Sri Lanka will go for organic farming. And suddenly, in one go, you cannot go to organic farming, whole country. You can go in pieces. In India also, area is increasing very slowly. I have shown you area. It is not that in one day you can convert whole India or whole country into organic. But he did a mistake. He converted whole Sri Lanka into organic. And what happened? And then whatever money was left with him, he sold many lands of Sri Lanka to China also. And he purchased some organic fertilizer by chance. He purchased some organic fertilizer from China, and which were again duplicate, furgy fertilizer. So they were in trouble, their agriculture was in trouble. All of a sudden, you cannot go to organic. And then without adding organic manures and so. So it was very political kind of thing. And people have listened very small part of the thing. They did not go to the depth. As I am personally saying you, this is my own analysis. I studied newspapers and made a conclusion based upon my own studies. So such things happen that people unnecessarily blame. They can blame anything. So one has to be very, very careful what is being shown to us. So that was not the reality actually. Everybody started, oh, organic is bad, organic is bad. But nobody will go into the depth. What is the fact? This was the fact. So anyway, so and then they came back to chemical farming, no problem. So now the yields, I think I have discussed. Now you can see this picture here. Organic farming yields are comparable. The profit is more in organic farming. Energy input is less, so pollution is less in organic farming. So in one picture, you can see the all advantages of organic farming. The yields are at par, the profit is more, energy input is less, pollution is less. So this is from Rodale Institute of USA, this data, and they have made very interesting studies also. Some papers have been published by the group. And this is our experiment in IRE, I think I have already discussed. So here we realize that the yields are comparable to the conventional farming, or rather same yields are there in organic farming as well as conventional farming for rice and wheat. We publish papers also. I can share some papers on this experiment. And data is from Modipuram Network Project on Organic Farming in Modipuram. And they have come out with some very good results about organic farming. And they are having multi-location trials. They are trying all sorts of things, weed management, trials on weed management, trials on nutrient management, insect pest disease management. Lot of information is available for practical purposes, and one can find on website. you can go to Indian Institute of Farming System Research, Modipuram, and there you will find network project on organic farming, which started in 2004. And Dr. N. Ravi Shankar is the in charge of or head of that unit for a very long time, who happens to be my good friend. And a lot of data has been generated by this project. And you can find the production technology of organic crops for different states. Publications are available on their site. So here also the conclusions are very interesting conclusion of their studies, that yield of basmati rice, soybean, garlic, peanuts, cauliflower, tomato crops was 4 to 6% higher than the conventional farming. So you can see many crops yielded more. Moong, onion, chili, cabbage, and turmeric yields were 7 to 14% higher. So, and also wheat, mustard, lentil, potato, rajma yields were 5 to 8% lower. So you can see yields of winter crops in northern India, yields of winter crops even could not match the conventional yields even after 7-8 years. So that is really one issue. We are still facing this problem, that wheat yield after we have about 20 years trial in IRA, where the wheat yields have not reached the level of conventional wheat. But for summer crops, for rainy season crops, there is no problem. They are giving very good yields. But in northern India, in hilly parts where temperatures are low, so nutrient, particularly nitrogen availability, is less, mainly because of low temperatures. So that is why yields are still low in winter crops. So economics is in favor of organic farming, at least in theory, because the cost of cultivation is reduced and farmers get premium prices. Therefore, overall 10 to 20% margin is possible in organic farming. Impact on soil, it has favorable impact on soil, reduced soil erosion. You know, structure is improved, organic matter addition, all advantages can be derived, improved physical, chemical, biological properties, and hence reduce erosion, increase in organic matter, increase in microbial activity, enhance aggregate stability and water retention in soil. So you can see this data. I think some of you might have seen it. This data, as you increase organic matter content in soil, so is water content increases. You see your overall biodiversity improves, whether it is below ground biodiversity or above ground biodiversity. So impacts on groundwater and ecosystem. So groundwater pollution is reduced. Surface water pollution is reduced. Reduction in greenhouse gases. Reduced nitrate leading denitrification and so on. Now we go to next topic, that is core plus or component of organic farming. I will take next 10 or 15 minutes only. I'll finish by 5:30. But before that, before I start this, do you have any question on this? We have compared productivity. You can just recall these impacts, impact on economics, impact on yield. You can see quality. We started from the quality, productivity, economics, ecosystems, or effect on climate, ground or surface water. So if you have any question, any point of discussion out of these, you are most welcome. Any question?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
so this carbon sequestration will be more in case of organic farming or in case of conservation agriculture?
See, she is saying that carbon sequestration will be more in case of organic farming or conservation agriculture. So first we need to understand what is carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration means your atmosphere has carbon dioxide. Your atmosphere has carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide will be absorbed by the plant. It will be taken up by the plants, and these plants will assimilate carbonaceous material, and then these plants will be harvested. These plants will be harvested and taken away. But some of the roots will remain in the soil. Some of the roots of the plant will remain in the soil, or some plants or some organic material can be added from outside also. So one is in situ harvesting of or sequestration of carbon. So this will be your in situ. And if you are bringing this organic material from outside to your field, that is not exactly in situ. You are just adding organic material which was produced elsewhere. But if you take the residue of the same crop, which was grown in the same field, and add it here, so that is also kind of in situ carbon sequestration. And also you can add organic matter from outside also. But overall, what is there, if you add more organic matter into the soil, then definitely you will have more carbon sequestration. Because carbon sequestration means it is conversion into humus, conversion of organic matter into humus. And the level of humus are important. How much is the change in level of humus? Because that is permanently stored in the soil. So in organic farming, normally you add more organic matter compared to conservation agriculture. So, but on the other hand, you normally go for plowing in organic farming, but you do not go for plowing in conservation agriculture. So you need to take a balance. On one side, we are adding more organic matter in organic farming. We are adding less in conservation agriculture. Coming to tillage, we are doing a lot of tillage in organic farming where we are adding more organic matter. On the other end, we are not doing any plowing of the land, and just we are keeping the organic matter on the surface. So interesting point, no such studies are available where it has been compared. But normally you can think that in conservation agriculture, you are adding less quantity. Only 30%, I think, area of the soil is to be covered, but quantity is not specified. I think so. So it depends how much input of organic matter is going into both. So simply, this question is not so simple to answer. Where you will have more carbon sequestration. It will depend upon climate, management practices, and many things. So we cannot generalize. I think we cannot generalize. But I doubt that when you go for mulching, the portion of the organic matter, portion of the mulch, which is in the contact of the soil, that will decompose. That will decompose first. And I do not know how it will be mixed in the top layer. How will it be mixed? And at the same time, when decomposition happens, you are losing carbon. When decomposition of organic matter happens either in conservation agriculture or in organic farming, in both the cases, you are losing carbon in the form of carbon dioxide. So I do not know. Instead, if you are having waterlogged conditions, so moisture also determine. You can have waterlogged conditions, aquatic crops, or kind of waterlogged conditions, then you will have more carbon sequestration, less loss of carbon. So this is very, very subjective, Santika. There is no clear-cut answer. Don't think that मैं आपको पहला फुसला नहीं रहा हूँ इधर-उधर कि इसको answer. But there is no direct answer to this.
सर इसमें हम लोग मेटा एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं, ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग और सीए को कंपेयर कर सकते हैं.
That is better idea, excellent idea. Definitely you can do it. But since you have to compare studies in same country, one region, you need to make some harmony, Means suppose conservation agriculture was done in Brazil or it was done in, say, USA or Europe, say France it was done. Now you cannot compare those conditions with Indian conditions. So there are certain criteria that you need to study, but definitely one can do it. Maybe For India, you can take any one state or two states.
So we have to take like paired data and then we can compare.
Exactly. So who is your chairperson? I should
Sir
not ask.
Praveen Upadhyay, sir.
Okay. So you can try. Otherwise, I could have helped you actually. But sometimes people mind that why my student is going to other scientists. So better.
No, sir. He is like no, not that conservative and that kind of thing. I
So-
will talk. Definitely, I will talk.
No, better. You can talk. You can talk to him if you like. Anyway, but from my side, honestly speaking, I'm on my job. I do not discriminate students based upon their chairperson. I never did. You can ask to your senior people. I've never done this. See, you are 26, 27 or people in seminar. I never discriminated. I tried to solve problem of each one of you, whether you asked it or do not ask it. Whatever little I could do, I did it indiscriminate. Anyway, now we go to the last topic of today, that is core plus components of organic farming. This is actually the subject matter of organic farming. What you study in organic farming, this is your syllabus for any stakeholder in organic farming. Organic standards, certification or regulatory mechanism, technology package, and market network. These are the four subject matter of organic farming. Today, I will cover only organic standards. And if time allows and you want to study, I can take one more last lecture on certification, technology package, and market network. So today, now we will cover organic standards in few minutes. Now see, organic standards are the do's and don'ts, where it is a written document where practices are mentioned. What practice can be done if you want to grow the crops? What can be done if you are going for fisheries? What is allowed? What is not allowed? It is a written document. And our organic standard were first time developed in year 2005. So actually it all started with the implementation of the National Program on Organic Production, NPOP. It was launched in year 2001. And it is, our standards are internationally recognized. And we have equivalence with European Union and Switzerland. Equivalence here means that they accept our standard and we accept their standard. USDA recognizes conformity assessment system. Equivalence with Canada, Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan expected soon. This must have been done. And there are a number of certification agencies. And this is operated by APIDA, Ministry of Commerce and Government of India. So here overall, this NPOP covered two important subjects. One was development of organic standard. Number two was accreditation of certification agencies. Means getting the certification job ready. So it is offering certification in crop production, wild harvest collection, livestock and sericulture, apiculture, aquaculture, all allied subjects of agriculture and allied subjects. Now you see at every stage, some standards are required. Some standard practices are required to be followed and some are required to be rejected. So for example, you are doing production. You are producing the crop, you are producing the fish or honeybees. Then what should you do? What should not you do? What should be your, what treatment you can give to the soil? What should be the condition to select the seed? How you can do sowing? How you can go for soil amelioration? Any amendments are added? So all these details. What should be the plan for crop rotations? What you should follow? How you can maintain biodiversity? All these aspects are written in writing. These are called as standards. These guidelines are called as standards. Certification I will touch later. But certification also goes hand in hand. Through certification, you certify that standards have been followed in letter and spirit. And to certify it, you need to inspect, you need to go for inspections or visits to see whether farmers have adopted the standards in production. Then after production, you will have processing also. Sometimes you can do processing on the farm or at domestic level. Then again, for processed product also, you go to standard. How you can label them, what kind of preservatives you can use, what you can add, what you cannot add in processed product, what is the status of polythene, packaging. All these things have in writing, they are declared. They are also standard for processing, packaging, and also marketing of input and products. You have some set of standards, and what will be the shelf life of your product. All these standards are defined. Anybody is interested to know standards and certification process in India, you can go to APIDA website, apida.gov.in, and go to organic products. You will find all details related to organic farming, export-import data, data on your crops, all sort of things are there. Official data is available. Now, organic standards are do's and don'ts in organic farming. Certain guidelines are officially laid down. So you can go through it. This I have already explained to you. For example, just I am citing one example, just to show you what is standard. So for example, if you are going for crop production, say you are going for production of basmati rice, then what should you do? You need to make a crop production plan. Some guidelines are given. Conversion requirements are detailed that it will be for 3 years. What you can add, what you cannot add, what should you do during conversion period. All guidelines are in writing. Duration of conversion period, landscape, how you can maintain diversity in crop production, nutrient management, what can you add, the sources of nutrient, what you cannot add, how to control insect pest disease, how to control the contamination. Means sometimes your tractor can come from conventional farming area to organic farming area. Animals can also move, implements can move. So how to control that kind of contamination? Guidelines are given. How to conserve water and soil. So these kind of guidelines are always there. And then this is just one example. I wanted to show you how you can maintain the diversity of the crop. So these are the guidelines. You can go through them. Consider the structure and fertility of soil and surrounding ecosystem. Minimize the nutrient losses. Optimize the nutrients. Include your legumes and deep-rooted crops. So likewise, some guidelines are there. And as you know that crop rotations and organic farming, there are a variety of roles that are being played by crop rotations or diversity. They have role in productivity. Crop diversification results in improved soil productivity. Crop diversification improves your soil fertility and plant nutrition, soil health, environmental protection. You can control insect pests and economics. So it ends this lecture here. Your any question on organic farming is welcome. Thank you very much.